The galaxy was quiet that day. Not the usual quiet of peace, but the tense quiet that comes just before something changes everything. On the planet Zifra, a council of the galaxy's strongest species had gathered. They had gathered in a massive hall that floated in space, lit by stars that shone through glass walls. Every species in the galaxy had a representative. They were proud, powerful, and sure of their strength. But none of them expected a human to arrive. Captain Aaron Clarke stood alone at the entrance of the council hall. His space suit, simple and worn, made him look smaller than the aliens around him. He had been chosen, not because he was the strongest, but because humans were unpredictable. The council whispered behind his back. A human? What can he do? Some said. He is nothing compared to us. Others laughed. Aaron did not answer. He walked forward calmly, his boots making small sounds on the metallic floor. He had faced impossible odds before. He had fought battles no human should survive. And today, he would have to prove himself in front of the entire galaxy. The council leader, a tall alien with shimmering blue skin named Velric, raised a hand. Representatives, we are here for an urgent reason. The enemy, the KRYL, has returned. They grow stronger every year. And yet he paused, his golden eyes scanning the hall. We have one unusual addition. All eyes turned to Aaron. He stood silently, feeling the weight of every stare. Some aliens sneered. Some shook their heads. None expected him to survive even a single trial, let alone help fight the KRYL. Velric's voice echoed through the hall. A human. They claim humans are clever, brave, and resourceful. Let us see if these claims are true. Before anyone could respond, alarms blared. Red lights flashed across the hall. The massive doors at the far end shook violently. KRYL ships approaching, a voice shouted. Panic spread quickly. Some aliens froze, unsure of what to do. The KRYL never attacked without warning, and this sudden strike shocked even the council's most experienced leaders. Aaron moved first. Without thinking, he rushed to the console, scanning the incoming ships. His eyes narrowed as he calculated the enemy's formation. The aliens around him stared. He acts like a soldier, one muttered, but he is just a human. Suddenly, a loud explosion rocked the council hall. The ceiling cracked, sending sparks and debris falling. Several alien leaders were thrown to the floor. Aaron grabbed a falling panel and used it to shield a smaller alien from harm. The moment was chaotic, but he stayed calm. Humans had a strange skill. They thrived in chaos. Velric turned to him, his expression a mix of surprise and suspicion. Human, can you help us defend this hall? Aaron nodded. Tell me what to do, he said simply. In the next moments, he coordinated the defense. He gave orders to alien soldiers, predicting the KRYL's next moves. Some followed hesitantly, unsure how to take orders from a human. But the KRYL's attack was fast, and hesitation would mean death. Slowly, the aliens began to listen, and slowly, they began to realize that Aaron was not like any human they had seen before. The first wave of KRYL ships struck. Energy beams tore through the hall, but Aaron's quick thinking saved many lives. He rerouted shields, guided soldiers to weak points, and even used the hall's defense cannons in a way no alien would have thought. In minutes, the tide began to turn. The aliens fought alongside him, inspired by his courage and creativity. After the battle, the council gathered again. The hall was damaged, and smoke still filled the air. Velric looked at Aaron, his eyes wider than before. Perhaps the legends about humans are true, he admitted. Aaron shook his head. I did not come here for legends. I came to help. That is what humans do. The council was quiet. They had always judged humans as small, weak, and primitive. But today, one human had stood against the KRYL and survived. Not only survived, but he had helped save many lives. Yet, even as Aaron was praised, a shadow loomed. The KRYL had retreated, but they would return. And when they did, the council would have to decide, could they trust a human to fight alongside them in the coming war? Meanwhile, Aaron walked through the damaged hall, looking at the other aliens. Some avoided his gaze, embarrassed at underestimating him. Others nodded with respect, and a few, who were still proud and arrogant, whispered angrily, A human? This cannot be. Aaron knew this was only the beginning. The Kryll were cunning, and this sudden attack was only a small taste of their real power. But he felt ready. Humans were not the strongest in the galaxy, but they had something that no other species did. Unpredictability, courage, and the will to survive against impossible odds. As he prepared for the next council meeting, a small alien child approached him. The child species had wings and shimmering silver eyes. "Will you fight for us?" the child asked. Aaron smiled, kneeling to meet the child's eyes. "Yes, and I will fight with you, not above you." The child's eyes widened with admiration. "Then maybe humans are not just clever, maybe they are heroes." The words echoed in Aaron's mind. He did not seek glory. He did not seek honor. But the universe had a way of choosing heroes in the most unexpected places. Today, he had stepped into the galaxy's most dangerous stage, and the first act was over. But the real story, the one that would test every skill, every instinct, and every ounce of courage he had, was just beginning. That night, the stars outside the council hall glimmered like distant promises. Aaron stood at the window, looking at the galaxy he had sworn to protect. Somewhere out there, the Kryll were planning their next move, and he would be ready. He did not know if the aliens would ever fully trust him. He did not know if they believed humans were more than primitive fighters. But one thing was clear. In a galaxy filled with powerful species, the unexpected power of a human could change everything. Aaron clenched his fist and whispered to himself, "I am ready. Let them come." The council hall was quiet again, but this quiet was different. It was not fear, and it was not peace. It was a quiet of preparation, the calm before the storm, the moment before the galaxy realized that a single human could make history. And in that quiet, a new legend began. The aftermath of the Kryll attack left the council hall scarred, its walls scorched and consoles shattered. The alien representatives gathered again, their murmurs filled with both admiration and disbelief. Aaron Clarke, the lone human who had survived the attack and saved lives, stood quietly, observing the assembly. Some aliens looked at him with newfound respect. Others still doubted him, whispering behind their wings, scales, and shimmering skins. Velric, the tall, blue-skinned council leader, stepped forward. His glowing golden eyes settled on Aaron. "Human, your actions today, they were remarkable. But this galaxy does not reward luck alone. We must see if your courage, your skill, and your mind are truly worthy." Aaron nodded. "I am ready." Velric raised his hand, and the room shifted. A portion of the hall transformed. Panels slid open to reveal a vast training arena that floated in zero gravity, suspended by energy fields. The walls were transparent, allowing the stars outside to glimmer in the background. The arena was not just a test of strength. It was a test of strategy, agility, and wit. The representatives of the council explained the trial. Aaron would face elite warriors from various species. Each opponent was considered the best in their field, trained for decades to fight in life-and-death situations. The rules were simple: survive, adapt, and prove your value. The arena had multiple hazards: energy fields, moving platforms, and unpredictable traps. Failure meant defeat, and defeat for a human in front of the council could ruin humanity's chance to fight alongside the galaxy's strongest species. Aaron's first opponent appeared, a towering alien with 4 arms, each ending in sharp claws and scales harder than most metals. The creature roared, shaking the arena. The other aliens murmured, "He is finished." But Aaron did not panic. Humans had survived worse in wars on Earth, and instinct guided him. He dodged the first swipe of the creature's claws, rolling along a moving platform. He noticed a pattern. The creature's attacks followed a rhythm, predictable once you observed it. Using his environment, he led the alien into an energy field. The creature hesitated for a moment, and Aaron struck a weak point, sending it tumbling across the arena. The council whispered among themselves, "A human? He is fast, clever, unpredictable." Before he could rest, the next opponent appeared, a psychic alien whose thoughts could warp reality. With a wave of its hand, Aaron felt the arena shift beneath him. Platforms moved faster, walls closed in, and illusions made him question what was real. The other aliens gasped. No one has ever resisted a psychic attack for more than seconds. Aaron closed his eyes, taking a deep breath. He focused on his instincts rather than what he saw. Moving cautiously, he tapped into human adaptability, improvising, feeling for vibrations in the arena, sensing the psychic's energy indirectly. Using a loose panel, he created a distraction, sending it spinning through the air. The psychic flinched, and Aaron seized a moment, striking and disabling it without a single weapon. The arena erupted in whispers. The council members were astonished. A human using instinct and improvisation to defeat a psychic, a feat no alien had expected. Next came the most dangerous opponent yet, an alien warlord known for his brute strength and speed. He had fought in dozens of intergalactic wars and had never lost. The Council's energy fields adjusted automatically, creating obstacles specifically for him. But Aaron knew this was no ordinary trial. Every hazard, every platform, every energy beam was a test of strategy. The warlord charged. Aaron ran, leaping over moving platforms, ducking under energy beams. The alien strikes were powerful, sending shockwaves through the arena. But Aaron noticed something. The warlord's attacks were strong but repetitive. Every move had to tell a small opening. Using his human ingenuity, he lured the warlord into a trap he created on the fly. A misaligned energy barrier. The warlord slammed into it, stunned, giving Aaron a chance to disable him with a carefully aimed energy net. The crowd of aliens watching the arena went silent. Then, slowly, they began to cheer. For the first time, they saw what humans were capable of. Creativity under pressure, courage in chaos, and the ability to survive against all odds. Aaron did not stop there. He faced multiple opponents simultaneously, a team of agile aliens, each with different powers. He fought, dodged, and outsmarted them, using the arena's hazards to his advantage. Every move was calculated but instinctive. He was not the strongest in raw power, but he was cleverer, faster in thinking, and unafraid. The trial lasted hours. Sweat dripped down his brow, muscles burned, and his body ached. Yet, Aaron kept moving. He adapted to every challenge, turning each obstacle into an opportunity. The aliens who had once doubted him now watched in awe. Finally, the last opponent emerged, a hybrid warrior, combining strength, speed, and psychic ability. It was a challenge unlike any other. The hybrid attacked relentlessly, forcing Aaron to think faster than ever before. He used a combination of dodges, feints, and improvised traps. At one point, he jumped from a moving platform, grabbed a falling panel, and used it to deflect a psychic strike, something no other being in the galaxy could do. In the final moments, Aaron faced a hybrid one-on-one. The arena's hazards threatened to crush both of them. Using every lesson learned in the trial, he led the hybrid into a misaligned energy barrier, tripping it. Then, with a well-aimed strike, he disarmed and disabled the hybrid completely. The arena went silent. Then, the council erupted into applause. Velric stepped forward, visibly impressed. "Human, you have done what no one else could. You have survived every trial, outsmarted the galaxy's best warriors, and proven that you are worthy of fighting alongside us." Aaron, exhausted but focused, simply nodded. "I am ready to fight," he said. Even those aliens who had doubted humans could no longer hide their respect. Whispers spread. Perhaps humans are not weak. Perhaps they're the unexpected heroes of the galaxy. But Aaron knew better than anyone that respect alone would not be enough. The KRYLO were still out there, planning their next move. And surviving a trial in a controlled arena was very different from facing a real battle in space. As he left the arena, a small group of young alien recruits approached him. How did you do it?" one asked. The child had 4 arms and glittering green eyes, trembling with awe. Aaron smiled faintly. "I watched. I thought. I adapted. That's what humans do. We survive by thinking differently, by never giving up, and by never underestimating what seems impossible." The child's eyes widened. "You are a legend." Aaron shook his head. "I am just a human. But maybe, just maybe, that is enough to change the galaxy." In the council hall, preparations began for the real war. Alien leaders discussed strategies, fleets, and weaponry. But a new energy filled the room, a mix of hope, fear, and awe. A human had survived the trial. A human had proven that unpredictability and courage could overcome strength and power. Some aliens were skeptical. Some were jealous. Some still did not trust humans. But one thing was certain. The galaxy would never see humans the same way again. That night, Aaron walked through the quiet corridors of the Council's ship. Stars glimmered outside, and distant planets shone like lanterns in the darkness. He thought about the trials, about the enemies, and about what lay ahead. The KRYLO would return, stronger and more cunning than ever. The battles would be harder, more dangerous, and more unpredictable. But Aaron felt ready. Humans had a strange gift, the ability to survive when others thought it impossible. He paused, looking out at the stars. Somewhere, the KRYLO were watching. They believed they were invincible, that the galaxy's strongest species could defeat any threat. They did not know that a human was now among them, learning, observing, and preparing. Aaron clenched his fists. Let them come. I will be ready. And with that, the first real test was over, but the true war, the one that would define his legend, was just beginning. The galaxy was no longer the same after Aaron Clarke's trial. Word spread quickly across the council. A human, underestimated and doubted, had outsmarted the galaxy's elite warriors. Whispers followed him wherever he went. Some were full of admiration, others of envy, and a few of fear. But Aaron didn't have time to bask in newfound respect. Outside the council halls, the real threat loomed. The KRYL, the relentless enemy that had struck the council before, were gathering forces in the dark regions of the galaxy. Their fleet was massive, and their weapons had evolved. This time they were prepared, and they had one goal: domination. The council called an emergency strategy meeting. Alien leaders filled the room, hovering slightly above the floor on their anti-gravity platforms. Screens displayed the KRL's fleet movements, showing hundreds of massive warships converging toward key systems. Panic was visible on some faces. Even the bravest generals were uncertain. Velric spoke first, his voice steady but urgent. The KRYL are returning, stronger than before. Their numbers are greater, and their technology has advanced. We cannot face them with conventional tactics. That is why, human, your ideas are needed. All eyes turned to Aaron. Some leaders scowled. A human proposing strategy? Preposterous. One alien hissed, his silver feathers ruffling with irritation. Aaron simply studied the fleet movements on the screen. His mind worked quickly, observing patterns and calculating probabilities. They are expecting a direct attack, he said calmly. Their formation is strong in the center, but weak on the flanks. If we split our forces and hit them at unexpected points, we can create confusion. A murmur spread through the council. Several generals shook their heads. Risky. Too risky, one growled. We cannot trust human intuition over decades of military strategy. Aaron looked at them without anger. Sometimes strategy isn't about strength. It's about unpredictability. The KRYLO do not expect humans to think this way. That gives us an advantage. After tense minutes, Velric nodded. We will try your plan, but under strict supervision. You will lead a small strike team of both humans and aliens to execute it. The team assembled quickly. It was unusual. Humans alongside aliens. Creatures of wings, scales, and energy-manipulating abilities. Some looked uneasy, unwilling to follow a human's lead. But others, those who had seen Aaron's trial, nodded with cautious respect. Aaron addressed the team. We fight as one. Trust each other, watch each other's backs, and adapt. Do not follow plans blindly. Think and be ready to act on instinct. That's the only way we survive. The fleet departed in silence. The human-alien strike team moved toward the KRL's position, traveling through the void where stars seemed to vanish into darkness. Tension hung in the air like a storm waiting to break. When they arrived, the KRYLO were ready. Their fleet shimmered like a dark forest of metal and energy. Alien leaders gasped at the scale. Even Aaron's seasoned eyes widened slightly. But he did not hesitate. He quickly positioned his ships, using their smaller size and agility to their advantage. The first phase of the attack began. The KRYLO unleashed a massive energy barrage. The alien ships shielded themselves, but gaps in their defense allowed Aaron's human intuition to guide his team. He directed smaller ships to weak points in the enemy formation. Each strike was precise, unexpected, and devastating. The other aliens began to follow his lead. Slowly, distrust gave way to cooperation. Winged aliens created distractions, energy manipulators cut off communications, and humans executed daring maneuvers that no one else would dare attempt. The KRYLL used the conventional attacks, faltered. Confusion spread through their fleet like wildfire, but then disaster struck. A massive KRYLL warship broke through the line, charging straight toward the human-alien team. The Council Watchers gasped. The warship's weapons could obliterate their ships in moments. Aaron acted instantly. He calculated the ship's trajectory, noticing a small energy vent near its core, a weakness no one would see. "Focus fire on the vent," he shouted. The aliens hesitated, but eventually followed his command. With precise coordination, they struck the vent, causing the massive warship to explode in a fiery ball. The fleet cheered. Even skeptics had to admit the humans' plan was working. The KRYLL fleet began to falter, unsure of how to respond to such unpredictable tactics. Aaron's team moved like shadows, striking, retreating, and striking again. During a lull in the battle, Aaron realized something alarming. Sensors picked up a KRYLL infiltration team attempting to board their flagship. "We have company," he warned. The team split. Humans and aliens worked together, fighting side by side in the corridors of the ship. Energy blades clashed, plasma rifles fired, and humans used improvisation to create traps from ship debris. Aaron led a small team through a maintenance hatch, taking a KRYLL officer by surprise. Using a combination of quick thinking and raw courage, they captured the officer, gaining crucial information about the enemy's plans. Back on the flagship's bridge, alien leaders looked at Aaron with new understanding. "This human, he sees what we cannot," whispered one. "He thinks differently. He adapts instantly." Aaron, catching his breath, looked out at the battle. The KRYLL fleet was retreating. His plan had worked. But victory came at a cost. Several alien ships were damaged and casualties had occurred. Aaron's gaze hardened. He knew this was only the beginning. After the battle, the team returned to the council hall. Reports were given, and a new respect for humans spread throughout the room. Velric approached Aaron. "You have done what none of us believed possible. The galaxy owes you a debt." Aaron shook his head. "I did what had to be done. I didn't fight for debt or honor. I fought because it was the right thing to do. That's what humans do." A younger alien, whose species had 6 arms and glowing amber eyes, approached him. "Human, your bravery, your way of thinking, we have never seen anything like it. Will you lead us in the next battle?" Aaron considered the question. Leadership was not something he sought, but someone had to guide this unusual alliance. "Yes," he said finally, "but not just me. We fight together. Each of us contributes in our own way. That is how we survive." In the days that followed, Aaron worked with the alien leaders to improve strategies. He suggested combining alien tech in unconventional ways, creating ambushes, using terrain in space battles, and improvising with limited resources. Many of his ideas seemed reckless at first, but each was tested and each succeeded. The aliens began to see humans not as weak primitives, but as unpredictable forces that could turn the tide of war. One night, Aaron stood alone in the observation deck, looking at the stars. He thought about the KRYLL, their cunning, and the challenges ahead. The alliance was fragile. Some aliens still doubted humans. Others were jealous of the attention Aaron received. But the galaxy was bigger than egos. The survival of billions depended on unity, and on the strength of the unexpected alliance he had helped form. A small voice broke his thoughts. A young alien recruit, barely a teenager in alien years, hovered beside him. "Human, do you think we can really win?" Aaron smiled faintly. "We can if we trust each other. The KRYLL are powerful, yes, but we have something they do not. Creativity, courage, and the willingness to fight differently. Together, anything is possible." The recruit nodded, inspired. Then, maybe humans are not just clever. Maybe they are the heart of the galaxy. Aaron's gaze hardened. He knew the war was far from over. The KRYLL would return stronger, smarter, and more ruthless. The next battles would be unlike anything he had faced before. But humans had a strange gift, the ability to survive and thrive when no one else could imagine. And so, the unexpected alliance was born. Humans and aliens, once divided by suspicion and pride, now fought together under a single goal: survival. The galaxy watched, and even the KRYLL began to notice. There was a new force in play, one that no enemy could fully predict. Aaron clenched his fist and whispered to himself, "Let them come. We are ready, and we fight as one." In the quiet of the observation deck, stars shimmered like distant promises. The galaxy had witnessed something remarkable, a human not only surviving but leading. And in this alliance, a legend began to take shape, one that would change the course of war, redefine trust, and prove that even in a galaxy filled with the strongest species, humans were extraordinary. The galaxy had seen humans in action and had begun to respect them. Aaron Clarke had survived impossible trials, outsmarted elite warriors, and led an alliance of alien species to a critical victory against the KRYLL. For the first time, many in the council began to think that humans were not just clever, they were essential. But war was never simple. In the shadows of triumph, betrayal often waits. The council gathered to plan the next offensive. The KRYLL were regrouping, and intelligence suggested a massive strike on several key systems. Aaron was present, analyzing data, projecting possible outcomes, and calculating strategies. Alien leaders debated tactics, their voices echoing through the hall. For the first time, humans had a seat at the strategic table, and their ideas influenced decisions. Yet, not all aliens shared trust. Some had watched humans rise in reputation and felt threatened. Among them was Zarvek, a senior commander of the winged alien faction. He had been skeptical from the start, dismissing Aaron's strategies as luck. Now, seeing humans gain influence, his jealousy burned. Late that night, Aaron was in the council archives, reviewing recent reports, when an alert flashed across the systems. A small KRYLL infiltration team had boarded one of the Alliance's outer fleets. Aaron's eyes narrowed. "They're testing us," he muttered. Velric approached, his expression grave. "Human, this is minor, an isolated strike. Nothing that threatens the plan." Aaron studied the sensor logs carefully. Something was off. The path the KRYLL took through the fleet was unusual, precise, almost as if someone inside had guided them. He frowned. This wasn't random. Someone knew exactly where to strike. Before Velric could respond, a series of alarms blared throughout the council ship. Red lights flashed, and emergency sirens screamed. The outer defenses had been breached in multiple locations simultaneously. Alien soldiers scrambled. Chaos erupted. Aaron ran to the tactical console, analyzing patterns. This is coordinated. Too coordinated. Someone inside, someone we trust, is helping them. Whispers spread through the council. Shocked faces turned toward each other. Accusations were muted, but present. Velric's voice was stern. "Calm yourselves. We will investigate, but we cannot panic." Aaron's mind raced. Panic? We are under attack from within and without. We don't have time to hesitate. I need a team loyal and capable to stop the infiltration before the KRYLL destroy the fleet. A small squad was assembled. Humans and aliens who had proven their loyalty in battle. Among them were energetic young recruits and seasoned veterans who had fought alongside Aaron before. He briefed them quickly. "The traitor may be anyone. Watch each other. Trust instincts. Move fast. We cannot afford mistakes." They moved through the corridors of the flagship. Sparks flew as alarms blared, and automated defense systems activated in response to the intruders. Aaron led the way, using human intuition to anticipate KRYLL movement. The corridors were tight, the enemies fast, and the stakes higher than ever. Suddenly, one of the winged alien soldiers hesitated. Aaron noticed immediately. "Step aside," he commanded, but the soldier froze, trembling. The hesitation cost them. An energy blast struck a wall near their position. Aaron acted quickly, blocking the next strike and pulling the soldier to safety. "Who are you protecting?" he demanded. The soldier's eyes widened with fear. I don't know. I thought." Aaron realized the truth. Not all betrayals were conscious. Fear, envy, and doubt could be manipulated. He needed to act fast. Using rapid calculations, he set up a series of traps in the corridors, loose panels, redirected energy fields, and improvised force barriers. The KRYLO would walk right into them if he timed it correctly. As the team advanced, a senior alien commander emerged, Zarvek, the one Aaron suspected. His face was calm, but his eyes were cold. "Human," he said smoothly, "you overestimate your importance." Aaron's heart raced. "I know exactly who you are. Step aside or face the consequences." Zarvek laughed. "Consequences? You cannot control everyone. You cannot stop what is inevitable. The KRYLO will win because we are ready to do what is necessary. Unlike you." Without warning, Zarvek activated a hidden override, shutting down nearby defenses and opening a portal for KRYLO reinforcements. The corridors flooded with enemies. Aaron cursed under his breath. This was worse than anything he had faced in the trial or battle. It was betrayal and enemy combined. He reacted instinctively. Form a circle. Protect the squad. Move as one. The human-alien team fought with every ounce of skill. Energy blades clashed, plasma bolts streaked through corridors, and improvisation became survival. Aaron directed movements with precision, predicting enemy paths and exploiting weaknesses. Humans leaped, blocked, and used the environment as weapons, while loyal aliens adapted quickly to the chaos. The betrayal had almost destroyed them, but Aaron remained calm. He knew that in unpredictable situations, humans had an edge. He set a final trap, a power column above the corridor, rigged to collapse at the exact moment the KRYLO passed. Timing was everything. The KRYLO surged forward, Zarvek close behind. Aaron counted beats in his head. 1, 2, 3, and triggered the conduit. Sparks and energy arcs exploded, knocking down several KRYLO and separating Zarvek from his forces. The corridor shook violently. Aaron took the chance to confront Zarvek directly. The two faced each other. Aaron's calm gaze met Zarvek's fury. "This ends now," Aaron said. Zarvek lunged, but Aaron sidestepped, using momentum and environment to his advantage. With a series of quick moves, he disarmed Zarvek, sending him crashing into a force barrier. The betrayer was contained. Aaron turned to the squad. "Check the corridors. Make sure no one else is compromised." They worked swiftly, clearing the corridors and sealing off portals. The KRYLO reinforcements were trapped and neutralized. The threat was over, for now, but the betrayal had left scars. Trust had been shaken. Some aliens who had doubted humans before now saw Aaron as the only reliable leader. Velric arrived, surveying the scene. "Human, you saved us. Again. But this betrayal, it changes things." "How did you manage?" Aaron wiped sweat from his brow. "By thinking differently. Humans survive by adapting, improvising, and acting when others hesitate. That's what got us through." Velric nodded slowly. "Perhaps the galaxy underestimates humans too much. You see what we cannot. You act when we are paralyzed by doubt. This may be the key to survival." Aaron knew the war was far from over. The KRYLO would return, learning from their mistakes. The betrayal had been a warning. Enemies had come from anywhere, even within their ranks. He would need to strengthen the alliance, build trust, and prepare for a war where deception was as dangerous as any weapon. That night, Aaron walked alone in the observation deck, staring at distant stars. The council ship floated in silence, the aftermath of chaos lingering like smoke. He thought about the KRYLO, about Zarvek, and about the alliances fragile enough to break with a single act of envy or fear. A young alien approached cautiously, her eyes wide. "Human, how do you stay so calm?" Aaron smiled faintly. "Calm doesn't mean we're not afraid. It means we use fear to think faster, act smarter, and survive. That's what humans do, and that's what will keep us alive in the battles to come." The young alien nodded, inspired. "Then maybe humans are more than clever. Maybe they are the heart of this alliance." Aaron's gaze hardened. He clenched his fists. "We have survived trials, led alliances, and faced betrayal. The KRYLO will return. But this time we will be ready. Humans and aliens together will fight differently, and we will survive." The Council had seen what humans could do. The KRYLO had seen it too. The galaxy was learning a new truth. A human's courage, ingenuity, and unpredictability could turn the tide of any war. And in the quiet of the observation deck, Aaron whispered to himself, "Let them come. We are ready. And nothing, not even betrayal, can stop us now." The stars outside shone brighter than ever, reflecting the hope, determination, and unyielding spirit of a human who become more than just a fighter. He had become a symbol, the unexpected force that the galaxy needed to survive. The galaxy held its breath. Every species, from the smallest winged scouts to the massive armored warlords, knew that the KRYLL would strike again. Their previous attacks had been devastating, but now, humanity had proven itself. Aaron Clarke, the human who had survived trials, led alliances and outsmarted enemies, was at the center of the galaxy's hope. The Council gathered one last time before the final battle. The Alliance's fleet stretched across light years, thousands of ships of different sizes, each designed for speed, strength, or specialized abilities. Aaron walked among them, observing crews, checking preparations, and listening to alien leaders. Some still doubted humans, but most were inspired. Velric approached, his golden eyes glowing with approval. "Aaron, the KRYLL fleet is larger than we anticipated. We cannot rely solely on our usual tactics. Your strategy will decide the outcome." Aaron nodded. "Then we fight differently. We hit where they least expect us, coordinate across species, and use everything they have not seen before. Humans survive in chaos. Now, we bring that chaos to them." The Alliance ships move into position near the Archon Nebula, a swirling expanse of gas and energy, perfect for hiding maneuvers and ambushes. The KRYLL fleet arrived moments later, a dark forest of warships stretching as far as sensors could detect. Their weapons glowed with deadly intent, and their ships moved like a living organism, coordinated and precise. Aaron's strike team, positioned at the flanks, was ready. He gave final instructions. Trust each other. Adapt constantly. Exploit openings. Don't fight predictable battles. If they expect one move, we do another. Stay alive, and the galaxy survives with us. The first salvo hit. Energy beams cut through space, scattering ships and causing explosions. Alien leaders panicked briefly, but Aaron's calm voice guided them through. Move as one. Don't hesitate. Remember what we practice. The Alliance reacted in ways the KRYLL did not anticipate. Winged aliens dove through openings, confusing sensors. Humans piloted small strike craft with daring maneuvers, creating decoys and drawing KRYLL forces into traps. Energy manipulators cut off reinforcements, while heavy warships struck from unexpected angles. The KRYLL hesitated for the first time in centuries. Their tactics relied on fear and predictable reactions. But humans did not act predictably. Aaron's leadership turned chaos into strategy. Suddenly, a massive KRYLL warship broke formation and charged toward the center of the Alliance fleet. It could destroy multiple ships with a single blast. Panic rippled through the ranks. Aaron reacted instantly, using a combination of alien tech and human ingenuity. He rigged a temporary energy mirror, reflecting the warship's own weapons back at it. The massive vessel exploded, its debris scattering like meteorites. Cheers erupted across the Alliance fleet. Humans and aliens alike stared in awe, but the KRYLL were relentless. A second fleet emerged, even larger and more deadly. This time, Aaron knew the battle would demand more than strategy. It would demand leadership, courage, and unity beyond anything the galaxy had ever seen. He moved among the ships, directing, coordinating, and inspiring. His voice, calm but firm, carried across communication channels. Don't fight alone. Protect each other. Trust your instincts. Adapt. The KRYLL sent elite boarding teams, psychic assassins, and energy beasts into the Alliance ships. Chaos spread, but Aaron anticipated it. He led human and alien squads through ship's corridors, improvising traps and turning even small tools into deadly weapons. Energy walls fell, but human intuition and alien strength turned corridors into killing zones. Aaron confronted the KRYLL commander, a massive psychic hybrid, aboard the flagship. The creature radiated power, warping reality around itself. "Human," it hissed, "you cannot defeat me." Aaron smiled, crouching behind a collapsed beam. I'm not trying to defeat you the way you expect. He set a series of traps, using the hybrid's own psychic projections against it. The creature lashed out, but Aaron dodged, striking with precision and exploiting a small flaw in its armor. Every move was calculated, every strike unpredictable. Humans had survived by doing what aliens could not. Thinking differently, reacting instinctively, and refusing to follow predictable patterns. Finally, with one coordinated strike from human and alien allies, the hybrid fell. Its psychic energy collapsed and the KRYLL flagship trembled, giving the Alliance fleet the advantage. The battle raged across the nebula for hours. Explosions lit the darkness of space. Ships collided and fell. But Aaron's tactics and leadership turned the tide. Where the KRYLL expected chaos, they found strategy. Where they expected fear, they found courage. And where they expected predictability, they found ingenuity. At last, the KRYLL retreated, their fleet scattered, their plans in ruins. The Alliance had survived. The galaxy had survived. Velric approached Aaron, eyes shining. You have done the impossible. Humans have led the galaxy to victory. You are no longer underestimated. Aaron shook his head. I did not do this alone. Every alien here fought bravely. We survived together. That is the strength of an alliance. That is what humans bring. Not just skill, but the ability to inspire, adapt, and survive. Across the fleet, aliens cheered, waving energy flags, signaling. Victory. Some whispered legends already forming. The human who changed the course of the war. The one who led an entire alliance to triumph. The one who turned unpredictability into strength. Aaron's gaze turned to the stars. The KRYLL would return someday. He knew that. But for now, the galaxy had learned a truth that would endure for centuries. Humans were not weak. Humans were unpredictable, courageous, and invaluable. A young alien, the same recruit from earlier, hovered near him. Human, you are more than clever. You are a legend. Aaron smiled faintly. Legends are not born from glory. They are born from survival, courage, and the willingness to act when others hesitate. Today, we all are legends. He walked through the fleet, acknowledging soldiers and pilots, human and alien alike. The Alliance had been tested by betrayal, chaos, and war, but they had survived. And in the quiet moments, as stars shimmered beyond the nebula, Aaron realized something profound. The galaxy had changed because of humans. Not just because of strength or skill, but because humans could think differently, act boldly, and inspire unity. And somewhere, deep in the shadows of space, the remnants of the KRYLL fleet watched. They had underestimated humans, and that mistake had cost them everything. Aaron clenched his fists. We will be ready next time, and we will fight differently. That is what humans do. As the nebula glowed around the victorious fleet, stories began to form, spreading across the galaxy. The human who survived impossible trials, led an alliance, faced betrayal, and turned the tide of war. The legend of Aaron Clarke, the human, was only beginning. The stars reflected off his eyes as he looked to the horizon. The galaxy had witnessed something extraordinary, a human hero, unpredictable and fearless, whose courage united species, and whose ingenuity defeated the deadliest enemy. The Alliance had won. The KRYLL had been defeated, and humanity had claimed its place among the stars, not as a weak species, but as a force of inspiration, adaptability, and unyielding courage. The human legend had begun.